Sanjay, before heading up All Deaf Digital, you started at Machinima, which is one of the most successful sites targeting towards millennials and gamers. So you obviously know more about this demo than almost anybody. So tell me about urban millennials that All Deaf is actually targeting.
So urban millennials, it's a funny term, and we struggle with what to call this group, right? But you just asked Russell kind of about the distinction between urban and hip hop. And part of the thesis for our business is that there is this massive white space in the category that historically has been called urban, right? By media outlets, by advertising agencies and marketers. And that actually our view is over the last 15, 20 years, two trends have been unfolding in American society and actually around the world that make that paradigm entirely antiquated, right? So the two trends are one cultural and the second demographics, right? So from a cultural point of view, that's hip hop. So the expansion from Def Jam Records through Fat Farm and through every other artist and iconic brand in the urban culture that became hip hop culture, right, is what touched now generations of consumers. I'm at probably the older end of that spectrum, but I'm an Indian immigrant from Louisiana, and I have a lot of Def Jam records on vinyl from being a kid, right? So, and I'm not the only one, obviously, right? So when you look at the impact of hip hop, not just as music, but as art, as fashion, as commentary, its impact on language itself, the vernacular, right, that kids speak, not just black kids, right? That impact is global and undeniable, right? And then when you look at demographics, we hear the Pew statistics and the US Census statistics pin the year 2045 as the so-called tipping point year, right? The doomsday Armageddon year when the country is minority majority, right? So in our world, if you look at the millennial cohort, largest in the workforce, largest in the country already, if you slice that group at age 25 and under, the world is already minority majority. When you look at Gen Z, the cohort coming up behind it, it's minority majority. When you look at our office of 50 kids, 75% minorities, black, Asian, Latino, mixed race, Dominican, Honduran, all over the world, Indian, right? So in our world and in the world that the audiences we touch are in, that world has already changed, right?
Right.
So it's the notion of millennials and Gen Z that grow up radically influenced by hip hop culture. Over 65% of them self-identify as actively listening to or being influenced by hip hop. And then the demographics that they grow up in that we think create this massive opportunity for a huge audience segment that most media outlets and advertising agencies still look at as like, oh, isn't urban black and multicultural marketing is targeting Asians or Latinos in these very, very pinpointed ways that we think are actually irrelevant now.